Okay, so we are back for another session. This is session 5. So what happened last time, just as a refresher, I was in Ember, that nomadic city, and it was my last day there. And I was seeking aid there before traveling south. And I know that I did a couple of quests. And I used the sigil of the Watcher to investigate rumors because there was a rumor of a shapeshifter that was hiding among the caravans. And so eventually I found them, and there was no violence. I found them, and then I was able to convince the camp to accept the shapeshifter, as it was someone who was just hungry and wanted a new place to stay. And then I did another quest given by Ash, who was the kindler, and he needed help with a new member of the community called Lara, but she was haunted, or she had a spirit, like a literal spirit of isolation and depression that was attached to her, like fed off her sadness because she was kicked out of where she used to live. And so I used occult knowledge and things like that, and ended up like casting the spirit out of her and banishing it, actually. And so because of that, Ash taught Serrin a new ritual, ward, so that could be helpful in the future. And then I left for Neraine. But the journey was interrupted in a rocky pass. There is a group of bandits that are demanding a toll, I'm going to say. So that's where we are now. I'm accosted by them. So their challenge is 1d8 plus 2. And if I'm remembering the combat rules correctly, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for an opening. So that means I can make a roll with investigation, and then I'll have advantage on the next roll. So what I'm going to do first is, of course, I'm going to do the challenge die. So this is what I need to beat. Oh, of course it's a 10. Oh my. Oh. Of course I roll an 8. Okay, so because of investigation, because I'm an expert in it, I get 2d10 plus the base of 3. So that the base d10, so that makes it 3. And listen, I have so many fate points. I could re-roll the 3d10, and I kind of think I might do that just in case. Let's see, because I have too many fate points. Got to use them. So this is for an opening. Let's see. Oh, that's a 4, 4, and 8. Miss. But I'm going to use 3 fate points to re-roll, and then fate will go down to 11. Okay, re-roll. I need a 10. Wow, 2, 4, and 8. Now, it doesn't say like what they do. It just says that I am accosted by them, and the challenge is 1d8 plus 2. Okay, so it is a failure. They don't have a stat block, so I will suffer fortitude damage based on their challenge die, which is a d8. So I lose 1 fortitude. So fortitude goes down to 6, and I can't use investigation anymore. So what I'm going to try to do now is just strike. Going to attack. Okay, so that is 2d10 on my end, but let's roll the d8 plus 2, and hopefully I roll low. 5. Okay, so that's 7. Okay. Okay, I have 2d10. Okay, that is 2 and 8. I will take it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, that was a success, so that is just 1 point off of their fortitude. I need 3 more points. We'll say that there are 4 bandits that came out to ambush me, and so each point will defeat one. So I go out and get cut, then I counter with like a precise blow, and one of them goes stumbling back, winded. The next thing I'm going to do, I have an ability called Harmonic Disruption, which I got previously. So I'm going to spend 1 stamina to reduce the challenge die by 3. Okay, so I'm going to roll that d8 plus 2, and then I can subtract 3 from it. Oh my god. And I rolled a 3 for the challenge die? -3, so there's no challenge. I'll take it. I'm gonna roll 2d10 anyway, and that'll be 2 successes. So that will be... I just want to see if I roll a 10. Roll 4 and 8. I just want to double check if Harmonic Disruption lasts for just 1 roll or the entire fight. I think it's the entire fight. That makes the most sense to me. But we'll see. Let's see. Okay, it does say when you make a skill roll, so that just sounds like that 1 roll. So this is going to be the last one. Last round, d8 plus 2 against the bandits. Okay, so that's a 5. I'm going to strike again, and that is 2d10. Hopefully I roll 5 or higher on one of them. Yes! Okay, so now I'm going to make my way to the city of Neraine. Now, this is a massive city spilling over the edge of a wide limestone plateau that overlooks the sea. It has 2 sections, Upper and Lower Neraine, and as we can guess, Upper is where the rich live, Lower is where they call it crime-ridden, downtrodden, So, lots of clues to be had here and research to be done. So, Neraine was built on a cape of land extending into a wide bay dominated by a wide limestone plateau and surrounded by salt marshes. It was founded to the capital of the Aldari Empire, symbol of power, glory, and superior engineering. Also, they have dolls here. And in gameplay, Upper and Lower Neraine are their own locations. And so they'll have their own plots, quests, NPCs. So I'll be in Neraine for a few sessions because Upper and Lower are different. So if you can gain entrance to Upper Neraine, you can travel freely between them at any time, the book says. 60 years ago, a salt sorcerer hired by an administrator of the Bronze Vault in Neraine bound a spirit into a life-size doll of wood and brass. Within 10 years, every well-to-do member of Neraine's upper class had replaced their own human servants with dolls. And within 20 years, more than half the shops and laborers of the city had been replaced by dolls, which required neither food, drink, sleep, or, most importantly, pay. This upended life in Neraine, sending those who had made their livings under the employ of merchants and aristocrats spiraling into poverty and led to an uprising of the poor and displaced citizens of the lower city. This rebellion, which came to be known as the Dredge's Folly, met an untimely end at the gates of the upper city, as doll soldiers were deployed for the first time. Interesting. Okay. What's interesting is these dolls, they outnumber the humans 10-1. So, I could totally see a doll revolt. Don't want to make the dolls mad. So, I'm guessing that I'm arriving in Lower Neraine and somehow going to try to make my way to Upper. Okay, so now we're going to verify the clues. So you can search for corroborating information about clues you have collected, decide how you would best follow up on the information in a new settlement, and then make an appropriate skill roll. The challenge die for verifying rumors is always a d12. And when you follow up on a clue, if you succeed, you verify it as true. If you fail, it's a dead end, and it's a mark the false checkbox. So the first clue is that there is a harmonic tuning mechanism that is believed to be in Neraine. Is it in Lower Neraine? Is it in Upper? We'll see. So let's roll the d12, and the lower the better. Oh, I rolled a d10. Okay, so I am verifying. I know that I could use investigation for sure. Okay, so I'm also going to use survival, because survival is, navigating, searching for hidden things, and surviving in the wilderness. And I am in a new place and I am navigating. So I'm going to use that. So that'll be 4d10 that I'm going to roll. Hopefully one of them is a success. I still have 11 fate points, so we'll see how it goes, but let's do it. Wow, 1, 3, 5, and 9. I'm going to use 3 fate points to re-roll 3 of them, and then I will go down to 8 fate points. And if I still don't roll a 10, it's just a rumor, it's not fake, and I will accept it. Okay, re-roll 3d10. Come on. Yes! I rolled 8, 9, and 10. I still do have a complication. I'm going to say the complication is that it's an upper Neraine for sure. So it's here, but I have to get it still. I'm going to say it's in the Artificer's Quarter. I think there's an Artificer's Quarter in upper Neraine or something similar. And then the other clue is that the third piece was lost in a raid. Oh, it's actually in Amandet. So, okay, that's the only one I have to worry about here. Okay, cool. So I need to verify that when I get there. That's the next city I'm going to. So I don't have to worry about that now. Now I am going to investigate for one more clue. So I can gain 2 clues in every settlement that I go to. One way is just pure investigation, and then the other is after completing a plot. So now that I verified that one, I'm continuing to investigate. I am spending some time in the markets. Let's see what is Lower Neraine like. The lower city is a hive of industry and trade, marred by crime, poverty, and the ever-present muck that seeps up between the cobblestones when the tides rise. Shortly after the first animated doll was paraded through the parlors and salons of the upper city, unadorned dolls of wood and bronze began to appear in the factories of lower city, displacing paid workers in favor of unpaid automatons. The dolls displaced shopkeepers, laborers, and even dock workers until there were as many dolls working in Lower Neraine as human employees. With a glut of unemployed people within the city, those business owners who still employed human workers paid less and less, knowing that they could always find 5 more workers to replace the ones they abused. With no prospects for honest work, a new underground economy of stolen goods, backroom deals, and imported contraband rose up to support the lower city. I mean, that makes sense to me. Alongside it rose a new class of folk heroes who braved the animated guards of Upper Neraine to snatch back a fraction of the wealth that had been denied them when the dolls flooded the city. Okay, nice. Couple of Robin Hoods. So there's Dockside, there's the Smokestacks, 10th Street, and the Procession Way. So I think I'm moving along Dockside and the Smokestacks, on guard, but understanding that these people are just desperate. So I'm going to make a skill roll to investigate. I'm talking to people. I'm going to do some investigation. I'm probably going to have to use sneak and persuasion and survival because this is a tough city. Persuasion because I have to convince others that that I'm not crazy, that what I'm saying is true, and to help me because the people here don't trust outsiders, especially, and I definitely look like one. And I have sneak, which is having to move unseen. I think I'm having to move unseen because there is a lot of danger here, and I have my goal, but I can't just be walking out in the open wherever I want as well. And survival, again, is navigating and searching for hidden things and survive. This isn't the wilderness, but it's the concrete jungle, as it were. So I'm going to roll a d10. That's going to be the challenge die as I search for this clue. Okay, so let's roll that d10 and see challenge dice. Okay, challenge die is a 7. Okay, so I'm going to roll my base 1. Investigation adds 2 more, so that's 3. Persuasion is 4. Sneak is 5, and then survival is 6. Oh, snap. No 10s, it's all good. 2, 3, 8, 8, 9, 9. So, once again, the harmonic tuning mechanism is in Upper Neraine, but upper access is restricted by the lift gates, and they're guarded by doll soldiers. So I'll need a pass or a disguise or something. Very clever plan to get up there, but I won't worry about that right now. Got that new clue. Let's say a crate of resonant glass. It's a rare material used in the construction of this apparatus. It was recently offloaded at the southern docks. However, it wasn't sent up the lifts. It was intercepted by a smuggler named Miss Vivian. And Miss Vivian, she's at dockside. She's tough though. Her challenge is a D12. And she is the owner of the Strangled Eel, a drinking hole body house that fronts for backroom gambling and Miss Vivian's own shady business dealings. There isn't a dockside gang leader who hasn't made a deal at one of Miss Vivian's polished tables. Not a petty thief who hasn't unloaded their stolen goods to one of her extensive network offenses. Okay, so the city still has its issues. So while I was investigating, trouble has been brewing. So I'm going to roll a d4 to determine the active plot. 1 to 2, it's a full storyline, and then 3 to 4, it is a different plot that I could roll for. So let's roll that d4. Okay, I rolled a 3, so that is Hungry Streets. So Miss Vivian of the Strangled Eel has a network of runners in her employ, children who run errands and gather information for her. Some of the children and a few of Miss Vivian's regular clients have gone missing. Okay, so this is actually going to be helpful. I do want to get in her good graces, especially because I heard that rumor that she has that, resonant glass. So I'm going to add her to my NPC sheets and hopefully, help her out and then get a good reputation with her. Okay, so I'm also going to roll on the plot details. So I'm going to roll a d6 and then see what the details are. I rolled a 1. The children tell a story about a boy named Arentus, recently orphaned, who wanted to become one of Miss Vivian's runners but couldn't find the Strangled Eel. Every time he tried to find it, he would get lost, and every time one of the children would try to lead him there, the alleys would twist and turn, rearranging themselves around him. The Endless has taken root within Dockside, trying to claim Arentus for its own. Venture into the labyrinthian alleyways of Dockside and find Arentus. Use navigate a location. Okay. I mean, yeah, I've been using navigate a location. Now, what is the Endless? Is that not a new, but is that one of the corrupting powers, I'm guessing? It is. Okay, so let's see what the Endless is. Oh, it's all about misdirection and being trapped. The twisting halls of the Endless take on many facades. The Endless places doorways where they had not existed before, at the end of a lane, in the back of a closet or shed, in a line of shops, opening into rooms and hallways that cannot exist within the confines of the physical space the doorway occupies, and filling them with wondrous illusions to draw the unwary deeper in. So, it's a type of confusing, corrupting power, all about misdirection. Okay. So, first things first is that we will be navigating a location. Okay, so now we are going to navigate a location. And so I'm going to roll on that, this like complication table. I'm going to do it 3 times. And it's a D10. So let's see. The first one is a 7, a single or small group of weak enemies on patrol. And let's roll it again, see what the second one is. That's a 4, a magical or mechanical obstacle, a puzzle, a non-violent attempt to hinder your progress. That one makes sense for the Endless. It's all about puzzles. And that's a 1, an environmental feature blocking your path. Again, that makes sense for this. Now, there is a +1 peril because the plot is active, and then there's another +1 because a corrupting power is involved, which is the Endless. So I have a +2 whenever I'm rolling that challenge die for the peril. So, the first obstacle, there is a patrol. And the fog thickens, and it's like this dry, gray haze. It's a patrol of dolls, maybe? I'm not sure. But because it's endless and it like transports you, the alleyway turns into a gray corridor, and blocking the path are 2 figures. And they look like dockworkers, but different. Skin is pale and rubbery, and they turn around and they have no faces. So, these are 2, they're called hollow men. There's 2 of them. The challenge die is 1d8 +2, so let's see. The lower the better, let's go. Okay, so that's a 7. I'm going to roll with, I have sneak. So I'm going to use sneak and survival. I think those 2 are going to help me, and then I'm going to roll 3d10. Okay, so I just have to beat a 7. I'm going to roll my 3d10. 5, 7, 8. Yes. So I'm moving through like the shadowness of the gray frog. The hollow men twitch a little bit as I pass, but their heads are in a different direction, so they don't see me. And I use different types of like debris to mask my presence, and I slip past them. And so next is an alarm obstacle, not an alarm, like a puzzle type, and it's going to be like a shifting wall. So I turn a corner and I come to a halt. As the alleyway doesn't end, it just simply stops. And blocking my path is this large wall of brick, but the bricks are moving. They're sliding over one another, and it sounds like someone when they're grinding their teeth. You can hear it as they grind on each other, and it's this impossible geometric patterns. But I am an academic, right? I'm a bit of a scientist, if I do say so myself. So this one's a little tougher. Might be a D10. It is a mechanical puzzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use investigation, and I'm going to use academia as well. And I'm going to possibly try to disrupt the magic here. So I pull out my tuning forks and try to find a flaw in the wall, and maybe possibly cause it to freeze or something to find an opening. So I'm going to use, I could use artifice or occult. I'm going to use occult. So challenge die, D10 plus 2. Okay, that's a 6. Okay, so I have my base. Investigation is a good one. So that's 2 more, and then I'm going to use occult, which is, and I have my academic knowledge, so that is 5. 5d10. Just got to get a 6 or higher on one of them. Ooh, okay. So I got 1, 7, 7, and 10, and 10. So it's a success with a complication. But since I did get 2 10s, I can add 2 more fate points back. I'm going to say that it's complicated, but my mind, I've been a studier and things like that. I find an algorithmic flaw within the wall's movements. I jam a tuning fork and try to pry like a specific key brick, and it causes the entire wall to shudder and freeze for a few seconds, and I slip through that opening. But as I'm squeezing through the gap, the bricks like snap shut faster than anticipated, so I pull free, but like the wall like bites down on my pack of like stuff, all my resources, everything I have. And so I hear like a crunch of glass or a snap of metal within my pack. So I'm gonna say, some of my supplies got crushed or ruined rations and things like that. So I'm gonna lose one resource as the complication. Okay, so now we're at obstacle number 3. And so we stumble out of that shifting corridor, almost lose my footing, and the floor simply ends. And so now I'm standing on the edge of a jagged precipice, and the hallway has been sheared in half. And below me, I don't see like a basement or a sewer, but a vast void of gray mist that stretches down infinitely, or seemingly so. And floating in the void, I see debris from the city, crates, chunks of cobblestone, and furniture suspended in like zero gravity. And so this is the kind of environmental thing I have to get through, the broken physics type. And so we'll say it's another D10 peril plus 2. So let's see. Okay, I rolled a 1. I'll take it. How do I want to do this? I'm not deft, but I could use survival. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to leap between the floating debris and trusting some agility to navigate through. So that's what I'm going to do. That's just going to be 2d6. 2d10. And I hope one of them is higher than a 3. Let's go. Oh my gosh, 1. I got 2 and 4. I'll take it. That's 1 success. So the whole point of this is to find the boy called Arentis. And so these are the alleyways of Dockside, but they've been transformed. And so on the far side of the chasm, I see curled in a ball on one of the floating fragments is a boy. And I'm guessing it's Arentis. And he is shivering. I see his eyes are squeezed shut, and he is muttering to himself. It sounds like a rhyme or a song. And I go up to him, I grab him, shake him a little. I let him know, "Hello, I'm here to help you. The way is clear." And he looks at me, eyes wide, a little scared. But he hasn't seen anyone in a long time. And I'm able to retrace my steps, the shifting walls, and the hollow men nowhere to be seen. According to the rules navigating the location, you roll your way in, but you don't have to roll your way out. So I think we're able to make our way back into the familiar, smelly, solid mud of Dockside, and that anomaly still shut behind us. And then I'm going to take Arentis to Miss Vivian. We go over to the Strangled Eel, and the tavern is smoky and loud, but the room goes a little quiet as they notice the lost boy has been found. And Vivian looks at both of us. She comes up to me. She looks impressed. She says, "You walked where my runners couldn't." She has like a little bit of respect on her face. So, that was fairly quick. I resolve that plot. I can roll 1d6, see how much she pays me, and then I think I can barter with her. Don't want to get on her bad side. Her challenge die is a d12, but I can barter. So, I gain 2 skill points from completing that, and I'm able to learn 1 new clue as well. So, I'm going to say that I currently have a positive reputation with Miss Vivian now, as I helped her find the boy. So I can add 1d10 When that reputation has gone higher. Okay, here we go. You can barter for better rewards. I can barter for better pay, so I can roll with persuasion and the NPC's challenge die. And I gain 1 additional resource for every success rolled. So that's what I'm going to do. Going to barter with Miss Vivian and let her know I am very helpful, good at finding things, good at tracking things down. Also going to ask her about this clue. Oh yes, the resonant glass. But I want a new clue. That was the first one. Okay, but I'm gonna roll 1d6. This is the initial resources. I got 5. Not bad. But I'm gonna barter for more. Hers is a d12. She's pretty tough. So she's looking at me, she's looking around, she's like, hey man, it's rough down here and you want more resources? So it's gonna be tough, you know. Oh my god, I rolled an 11. Now it's gonna be tough. And I'm gonna roll with persuasion. So I have 2d10, and because I have a positive reputation with her, I can roll 3d10. I need to roll a 10 or it doesn't work. That's the only way I can get a success. Nope, 3, 7, 9. No successes rolled. She's a tough lady, but she lets me know that she says, hey, I'm grateful for the kid, but you're pushing it. And I put my hands up and surrender. She's right. I got 5 resources. I'll take it. And then she gives me another clue. She pulls out a piece of parchment, slides it across the table as I go to sit across from her. And she says, this belonged to a courier from the desert. It mentions a specific component, this apparatus you described, sun-bleached prism. According to this, it never shipped north. It's still in Amondet, hidden deep within the salt mines, I hear. And so that is a new clue. It is a prism. It's a component of the device. Okay. Okay, I also want to confirm. There are 2 that I can confirm in Amondet, but the resonant glass material, I heard it was held by her. So I'm going to see if I can confirm that. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d12. It's going to be kind of tough. Lower the better. Okay, I rolled a 6. I'm going to use investigation and persuasion. And I'm not going to use sneak or anything like that. I think I'm trying to truly figure this out. I'm not trying to. And persuasion to get her to trust and open up a little bit more. But I'm also in her good graces, so I have that positive reputation, so I get an extra d10. So I'm going to be rolling 4 d10 total. Hope one of them is higher. Nice. 3, 5, 8, and 8. So it's true, she does have the resonant glass material. Okay, so that is confirmed. I'm going to see if I can I'm going to do a quest. I like to do a couple quests. So I'm going to roll a d6, see what quest I should do. That's a 6. So, Rhea, priestess of the Silent Eye, trickster god of cats and thieves, has heard that a merchant is currently transporting a box of rare seeds sacred to her god. She needs you to liberate the seeds from the merchant and return them to her. Okay. Helping out Rhea, priestess of the Silent Eye. But yes, Vivian does give me the glass, as she's still appreciative that I was able to bring one of her runners back. And so she's grateful, and I'll take it. Okay, so we're going to find that merchant, but of course we are navigating the location. So I'm going to roll 3d10 and see what happens to us. So that's a 6. An NPC item or event that distracts you from your goal or turns you from your course. Okay, let's roll another one. That's a 2, a trap or environmental hazard. Roll one more time. That's another 6. Let's roll it again just to change it up. 5. An NPC or guard who can be bribed, reasoned, or bargained with. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to erase. There's no peril, the plot is not active, and this doesn't involve a corrupting power as of yet. So the challenge die do not have a +2 for right now. So I have the distraction, the first obstacle. So there is a man, we'll call him Olim Var. I was told he has a crimson cloak, but suddenly the street is blocked. A raucous impromptu parade of revelry worshippers are spilling out onto the side street. They're singing, dancing, they're tossing flower petals, and it is a wall of surprisingly joyful chaos down here in Lower Neraine. So I don't want to get swept up in the crowd. I don't want to lose the merchant's trail. So I want to push through or maybe spot a path over rooftops. Let's see. I can use strong. I could try to push through. That's only 2d10. That's fine. It's okay. I'm gonna roll a d10 for the challenge die. That's a 4. Okay. I have 2d10. Yes. 7 and 9. Okay. Challenge 1. Obstacle 1. Done. Okay, obstacle 2, it was the environmental hazard. So I am able to strong arm my way through the crowd, and I'm trying to bypass the crowd and cut Olim off. And I duck under a narrow industrial alley in the smokestacks district. And the air here is bad. It's horrible. My throat is burning. And then suddenly a rusted pipe overhead bursts with a hiss, and that spraying like scalding steam across the cobblestones, and it's about to burn my skin. So I'm trying to dodge. I can't use deft because I don't have a skill in it. I mean, I could try to dodge with just 1d10. Anyway, let's roll a challenge die first and see what I gotta beat. Okay, rolled a 5. Okay. I could try to endure the heat and sprint right through it and use strong and just try to be tough. I could use alchemy and magic to neutralize the hazard, create something, use some artifice or occult magic to cover it up. Well, let's use some magic. I'm going to use occult and use some magic to try to fix the pipe and bring it back together without touching it. So let's do this. So occult, that'll give me 2d10. And then whenever I use occult, I can use awakened scholar. So I can choose to add additional d10s. So I will use the awakened scholar ability. So it gives me 2 more d10. So I have 4 d10. Wow, only one of them was a success. That's all I needed, but see why you need more sometimes? Okay, so that is 2, 4, 4, and 6. Success. Okay, so I make it through. I'm able to create a type of salve, like a magical salve, and I cover the opening of the broken pipe, and the hissing stops, and I continue to run through. But as I'm tracking him, I track him to a secluded courtyard behind a warehouse, and he's inside, maybe likely counting his coin. However, the only entrance is guarded by a bored-looking mercenary. He's leaning against the gate, and it looks like he's wearing an armband of a local guild, but looks like he'd rather be drinking. So if he spots and shouts, the merchant might flee or lock down the goods, so I don't want that to happen. So I can bribe him. I could pay him off, give him one of my resources. I convince him you have an appointment. I can convince him I have an appointment. Or distract him. I'm going to try to convince him that I have an appointment. So I'm going to use persuasion. Let's see what the challenge dice is, though. Ooh, 1. Okay. This guy, he really wants to leave. He just needs any reason to leave. Okay, so persuasion, that gives me 1 more d10. So I'm gonna roll 2 d10, and I just need higher than a 1. Nice. And so I'm going to step inside. And this place, by the way, the guard didn't even blink when I approached. He just I spoke with such authority that he stepped aside. He's assuming that I'm a VIP buyer. He hadn't been told about. He just says, right this way. He grunts, he unlatches the gate, lets me in, and I step inside, and this place is filled with stacks of crates of mundane goods and different cheap textiles and stuff like that. And in the center is Mr. Olim Var. He stands over a small chest, nervous-looking man in a stained and dirty velvet coat, and he looks up as I enter, confused but not hostile yet. He says, I wasn't expecting anyone else until the tide turns. His hand is hovering over the chest. I feel like these seeds are definitely in there. So I'm in. Now I just need to get the seeds and get out. Now, I would say in this game, this is a confrontation. It's a conflict. And then the conflict, it branches into 2, which is combat and confrontation. So the game says sometimes a single roll will do. You decide whether to use a single roll to resolve a situation or whether to enter into a combat or confrontation. Let's see, it could be a single roll. Let's see, I'm going to say it's a single roll, but if I roll a 1, a complication, it could devolve into something more. I could go for the knockout, you know? I have strike and I'm strong. I think over these travels I've been lifting, bro. I'm strong now. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go for the knockout. I'm close enough. 1 solid hit and he's asleep. So he's like, I wasn't expecting anyone. So I'm gonna roll a d10 just to see what that is. 1 hit. Okay, so that's a 6. Okay, so I have the base d10. I'm going to use strike and strong. So that is 3 d10, and let's see how that goes. 5, 8, and 9. Success. I was kind of hoping there was a complication. Kind of wanted to get into a little combat with the board guard outside, but it's okay. I just put all my weight into the back legs. Punch this guy. He was very skinny. It was easy. I unlatch the iron-bound chest inside. I see these seeds. Scoop them up, put them into my pouch, and I slip out the courtyard, leaving the merchant to wake up with nothing but a headache. Very confusing story of a man who walked in and just punched him in the head. And so I'm going to return to Rhea. There we go. So I liberated the seeds, as it were, from the merchant, and I returned them to her. And then I get 1 skill point from that quest. And then I roll 1d6 to see how much resources I get. That's 2. Oh, I almost got my skin burned, Rhea. I'm going to try to barter with her. I'm going to roll a d10 to try to barter with her and see what I gotta roll above. Oh, that's a 9. Oof. Okay, look, I have persuasion. And that's all I got. So I'm gonna roll 2d10. And hopefully I get 2 10s. At least 1. Nothing. She doesn't care. She's a trickster. She takes the seeds immediately and then, tosses 2 coins my way and then bounds her way out of there. I think she laughs and says, appreciate it. So that was 2 more resources. So I go up to 18. So that's where I am going to, I'm going to end the day here. Before I end the session, I do want to roll to see what quest I will do in my next play session. So it's time for rest and recovery. It's the end of the day. It's time to find a bed and a rest. So I have to spend 1 resource to pay for a room at an inn. I'm going to ask Vivian where she knows where I could stay. I recover 2 fortitude. So my fortitude will go up to 7. And then stamina is also fully restored. Back up to 5. So corruption roll. I didn't interact with any corruption today. Any of my corruption, so don't need to make a corruption roll. I think. Also, I learned about these artifacts of corruption, and I would like to find one. I can spend 1 fate at any time to discover a clue that will start a quest leading me to an artifact. These artifacts are cool. Large hook. I think I'll do that. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to spend 1 fate point. Yeah, why not? There's definitely got to be some type around here in Neraine. Artifacts of corruption are powerful magic items linked to the corrupting powers or designed to suppress their powers. These items are linked to plots and quests provided in the settlement section of this book. However, if you would like to acquire one of the artifacts, you can spend 1 fate point at any time to discover a clue that will start a quest leading you to the artifact. Awesome. There's blazing coal. There's a brine catcher. It's a large hook. There's a chalice, a catalyst, a heart of decay. The immolation, a long dagger. That just looks like sick. Like the art just looks really cool. Like I just want this dagger now. There's a puzzle cube, a reflecting talisman, a shifting crystal, shuddering egg sac, a singing bowl. Listen, I'm trying to find that dagger. The immolation. Such a cool name for it too. Okay, so also I want to see there's the corruption roll. Encountering a corrupting power. When you end your day, if you have interacted with a power or one of its agents in any way that day, make a corruption roll to resist being further corrupted by that power. Well, I guess I did interact with the Endless because it created like this labyrinth. So yes, I did. Okay. An interaction with the power could include interacting with the power when dealing with the plot. So yes, I did. So it's going to be 1d10 plus stamina. And the challenge die is d6 plus your current corruption with that power. I don't have any current corruption with it. So I'm going to roll d6. That's a 4. And now I'm just going to roll 5d10 and hope one of them is higher than a 4. There we go. 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. I'm glad I beat that because I would have gained 1 corruption with the Endless. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d6 to see what the quest is when I come back. So it's 5. It is the 10 Street Smiths have learned that a new salt sorcerer is coming to work in the doll workshops of the upper city. They need someone who can impersonate this sorcerer. Enter the doll workshop and sabotage their operations. Okay. This is kind of perfect because I also, in the next section, wanted to go to Upper Neraine anyway. Okay, awesome. So, yeah, I spent 1 fate point for a clue finding the corruption artifact. So, fate is now at 9. What could this clue... I'm trying to find this immolation dagger because that thing just looks sick and it looks fun. Let's see, a long dagger with a charred blade that curls like a nest of twisting flames and glows faintly with heat. This is an artifact channeling the powers of the hungering flame. Well, I don't have the hungering flame. Maybe I should get something that makes sense with the ones I have. The Watcher Beneath the Waves and the Eternal Song. Let's see, the Brine Catcher. This probably makes more sense, actually. But when you kill an enemy with the... Well... I guess I could use anything because, I mean, if I use it, it looks like when you make a successful attack with immolation, you may spend 1 corruption die to deal additional damage. You can sacrifice 3 fortitude to ignite an internal flame within your opponent. At the end of each round of combat, your opponent suffers 2 damage until they are dead. This damage is doubled against enemies touched by verdant growth. Okay, I can still get it. Like the brine catcher makes a little bit more sense, but it says you gain 1 corruption when you kill an opponent with it. Oh, when you take the attack action, you can spend... Wow, that's cool. When you take the attack action, you can spend 1 corruption to call the trapped spirit to fight for you. So you can like trap somebody's spirit, and then they can fight for you. That's fun. Wow. Treating it as part of the dice pool for your attack roll. Ooh, they're both cool. Listen, maybe I can get both along this journey. Hey, this journey is not finished. I still need 4 more clues before my session is over. So I'm still going to get the immolation. Such a cool name. I'm going to say I'm still at the eel. What is it called again? Vivian owns it. It is called the Strangled Eel. I think this is where I'm at before I find a place to sleep. And I overhear terrified factory worker. They're whispering to his friends about his former boss. They're talking about how he's gone mad. He's putting these strange artifacts into the furnaces to make them burn hotter. And they say I saw him holding a dagger. Immolation, he called it. He said it looked like a piece of charred wood, but when he stabbed it into the coal, the whole furnace roared like a dragon. And he says he keeps it in his office at the factory in smokestacks. Oh yeah. That's where we're going. That's what we're going to do. Next session. Okay, so that is where we're going to end this session. Another fun session playing Befallen. And then we have a solid lineup for the next session. Very excited to infiltrate that factory and see if we can find the immolation. And if any complications come up, that's just part of the fun. And then we'll do the quest. And that quest is for Lower Neraine. And then the quest will kind of seamlessly transition into Upper Neraine, which is a different location. So I will start over the entire entering a new settlement process via this quest. And so that is going to be very interesting. All the settlements are so interesting, and so are this game. It just has so much cool, like, creative things put into it. I'm really loving this game. So that is where we're going to end it here. Thanks for listening if you did, and I will see you in the next one.